Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome back to another episode of Charsie Chats, and I am your host, cosplayer Charsie Lux. Although I guess I shouldn't say cosplayer today because I am obviously not in cosplay attire. I am more relaxed, more just trying to be myself right now. I kind of made a small announcement on my other social medias that I've been having a really rough time right now, especially mentally. And I mean, obviously, it stems from everything that I've been trying to work on the past couple of years. And something recently has happened to me in my life that has been triggering a lot of emotions for me. And I didn't realize at first how much it was affecting me until after I was at the worst case scenario, where it's like I literally was viewing anything that was said to me that it wasn't even directed towards me, but I was just viewing it as something negative. And that's when I know I'm at my worst and I need to take a break from social media. And luckily, YouTube is a safe space so far. But I know that it's easier to stay away from the negativity, especially everything that keeps growing on Twitter and that. And we're going to talk a little bit more on Twitter here in a bit. I technically refuse to call it X because it's Twitter. I don't care what Muskie wants to call it. We'll get into that later because there's a certain thing that another announcement that was made by Elon Musk that he wants to do for Twitter that I think is a bad idea, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to kind of bring up right now is just kind of like a small announcement to kind of give an update about my plans that I want to do for my YouTube channel. Now, I've been noticing that I got a lot of different kinds of episodes, especially with all my playlists and everything going on. And then I've also come up with Charsie Chats. And I've been thinking about it pretty thoroughly and trying to assess what I want to do for my channel and how I wanted to approach it for the future. So I know that I've had coffee and cosplay for a year, and I literally just got done celebrating my 1 year anniversary of doing coffee and cosplay. And the whole idea for coffee and cosplay, since I do my themed months, was that the episode for coffee and cosplay was me telling a personal story that somehow related to the theme that was going on. But I think I've slowly realized after starting Charsie Chats and that I'm like, I've grown to realize that I want to condense everything down and have it a lot more simpler. And especially for everybody watching my channel and that it's easier for them to follow as well, or for you to follow my channel as well. So sadly, I am stopping doing coffee and cosplay, but nothing to fret on because everything is going to be replaced as a part as like I said, my tongue slips. Everything is going to be a part of my Charsie chats now. And that's kind of the idea that what's nice about Charsie chats is that if I'm just on a day like today where I was feeling good and I'm in a pretty good mood, so I put on my makeup, I did my hair, and just making myself feel a little bit more like myself again. And then it's like, I think I want to sit down and I want to record. I've been wanting to talk about this thing that's been going on Twitter, the nonstop, endless, stupid shit of Twitter, which makes me so sad because, like I said before, Twitter used to be my favorite app to be on. But anyway, so with Charsie Chats, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm doing a ghost story or a movie review, if I'm in cosplay, whatever, I can flip around and do an episode of Charsie Chats just to kind of like communicate anything that I want to, or even just doing the thing that I love watching myself. And like if something important is going on in social media or on YouTube that I think is relevant to bring up, or if I just want to talk about it, I can bring it up on here. So it doesn't matter if I'm just in regular me attire or if I'm in a cosplay because I was doing another different kind of episode, that Charsie Chats is just going to take over where coffee and cosplay was. But Charsie Chats won't necessarily always be following what the theme of the month is. But if I have a story that's related to the theme that I would like to bring up in Charsie Chats, or just kind of throw it in among like anything that I'm talking about, if I want to talk about something that happened in my life that is related to what's going on, then it just works perfectly. But the other thing, the other two that I wanted to keep, which obviously is Ghost Stories My Father Told Me. But we've seen how that channel has been developing, and the fact that it's not always going to be ghost stories that I have heard from my father, but to be sprinkled along with different ghost stories, supernatural stories, scary stories, horror stories, just anything that is related to that type idea, I can still do on Ghost Stories My Father Told Me. And then last but not least, obviously I've been doing things that are the movie reviews, and of course that's always been a part of luxxxycharms and that. So luxxxycharms is still going to be there apart for the movie reviews, for commentary, or if there's just something horror related that I want to talk about that seems in line with luxxxycharms, I will make that a part of that, which I always remember as well that Ghost Stories My Father Told Me is still a part of luxxxycharms too. That Ghost Stories My Father Told Me is also a part of luxxxycharms. So it's and that's where I know I get confusing in my channel and that, but I mean I will label things still from now on as if, because I mean the focus is going to be on the movie reviews along with Ghost Stories My Father Told Me and Charsie Chats. So I'm condensing it down more for myself than anything, but also so that it's way easier for you as my fellow viewer and everything, that you can keep up with my stuff a lot more, because I think sometimes I get too much because that's how my brain is, too much. But trying to organize things, we shall see. But I'm also realizing with Charsie Chats that if I want to be more in depth with edits and everything, I can. Or if I just want to keep it to where it's so low maintenance that I barely have a few edits in there, maybe something that I'm talking about, I'm going to show like screenshots or a picture or anything like that, that it's super simple, that I can do this in a day, like record, edits, and upload literally in a day. That's simple edits to me. Whereas my movie reviews take days. So, and my ghost stories aren't too bad. Those generally are about a couple days because you go through, especially since I've been doing the readings lately, which have been doing really well and everything, and that I'll do read throughs. That's probably what takes me the longest because when I do the read throughs, I'll do it twice. And because unfortunately sometimes my audio blips in and out, I don't know if it's an overheating issue or just some kind of a audio hiccup or a video hiccup. So if I do it twice, then that way maybe in the first reading there was a hiccup, but I can go to the second reading and I can pull a good clip and stick it in there. So generally, the recording takes the longest because it's the preparation for reading the story, picking what I want, and then reading it out loud for practice first, and then coming in and recording it not only once, but twice. So that in itself takes the longest. And then once I'm done, it's you got to get out of the costume and everything. I'm exhausted. I don't do edits the same day. So then generally for the next couple of days, I'll do edits and we me, I go through and I do the edits for it, and then the final run after going through and clipping everything in, I will go through and add I think they're called folly sounds, the folly. I will add all that in for the very last step for that. So I really wanted to do an update just to kind of like ground myself as well. And I mean, everything has just seemed so hectic in my life. And even though I left my job and everything, I'm still being contacted by them because they're still needing to be told how to do my old job. And I'm too nice because I am friends with my ex employees that ex employees, I am friends with my ex coworkers. Yes, I have employees. Tell you what, I've just been drinking water and coffee today, and that's still not enough sometimes. But I'm still friends with my ex coworkers, so when they contact me to need help, it's like I don't want to leave them high and dry. But at the same time, it's been 2 months now, and I'm still being contacted about it. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I was debating about going in this Friday. I was debating about going in and sitting down and talking to my old boss and just kind of like telling him like I don't want to be that type of person and say, "Hey, I'm sorry that you're all having issues without me." Proves exactly how good I was at my job. But anyway, Charsiechats is real fun because we're all over the place. So, but the one thing that I wanted to bring up that was the Twitter thing, which let me find my phone over here, or my extra phone, I should say. Considering I use my actual phone to do the recordings. Fun part is being organized since I have to hold this to have some decent sound and holding the phone. It's super fun. Whatever. Not big problems of the world, but whatever. So, Elon Musk had put out a tweet basically stating that block is going to be deleted as a feature in quotations, except for DMs. And then added to it, it makes no sense. And obviously, due to everything that has actually even recently been going on in Twitter, it's one of those things. I'm one of those people that if somebody says something really rude or crude or trolls or anything that's going on online, that I block and move on. It's the ones that are like really, really atrocious that I will actually call them out and actually tell people. But usually I still don't try to make that kind of stuff because that's honestly what the trolls want, anyways. They think it's great when people block them and talk about them and they get a weird high on it, which that's just bully mentality. And that just, they need help. They need professional help, is what that is. So feeding into their negativity just feeds and fuels them. And so usually I just block and move on. But yes, there's those occasions I'll bring it up, and if anybody asks me who it is, I will gladly DM and tell people exactly who I'm talking about. And there's no reason why, like, in the privacy, that if I can tell somebody and out this person, I gladly will. So the thing is that the block button is something that's so simple. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to make a decision that he's going to get rid of the block button. So he's siding with the trolls, basically. And the only other thing I can think of is because a lot of people are blocking him. So if he gets rid of the block button, people can't just block him anymore. Because if you block him, he can't see your tweets. Which at the same time, who the fuck cares? Like, why is he even finding all these people anyways? And why doesn't he just get like a side account or something that if he really wants to spy on these people, he can? Which, I mean, the whole thing is just weird and stupid anyway. But I don't know. It's just, if somebody blocks you, just fuck off. Just leave them alone. I mean, they blocked you for a reason. They don't want you there. You obviously said something that just doesn't align with them and their feelings. And if you're blocked, then move on. But it's like some of these people take it as a badge of honor and it's just fucked up. And so for Elon to decide that he just wants to get rid of the block option, except for DMs. But it doesn't make any sense. Well, then somebody else had announced where they had stated that Musk's decision to eliminate the block feature is in direct violation of App Store guidelines and will lead to X's removal from the App Store, but not X's, Twitter's, if implemented. I predict Elon isn't aware of this and will backtrack, saying he was trolling or joking, and his followers will buy it. And I mean, that's been his usual way, is that, well, we had to do it this way, or I was just kidding. Yeah, we love people like that. But yes, in the App Store itself, there's literally a thing right there on their thing that requires the ability to block abusive users from the service. So he would be in direct violation of the App Store itself, which means he would lose Twitter, essentially. So it would be interesting to see if he did try to go through with this and not realizing that this is a thing. I mean, Twitter would just be gone. So you can't go in violation of the app itself. So or the app store itself. But so I wanted to bring this up, and the whole idea of the block option is it keeps people safe from unwanted abusive behavior, sexual harassment, and it's not that big of a deal that somebody wants to block somebody. Like I don't get it. And I literally just got done talking about the fact that it's like I've had creeps in my DMs wanting personal information from me, which luckily because of that I would be able to have the block option because it'd still be attached to DMs. But I've also had a lot of unnecessary comments on my posts. So a majority of the people that I have blocked is because of comments, not because of DMs. Like maybe only 10% of the people I have blocked is because of DMs. So what am I supposed to do about the other 90% of abusive bullshit that happens? So I just we know how I feel about Elon Musk. We know how I feel about most billionaires. I mean, he didn't become a billionaire because he's a nice guy, no matter how many times people try to say he is. Where's the proof? Where? I have more proof that he's a bad guy. And something that me and my husband had talked about recently, that have you the people that become billionaires became a billionaire not because they're a nice person, but because they're an asshole. So they walked over people in order to rise above other people. And Elon Musk should be a lot well known for the fact that he has done the crypto coin scams and that he literally lied to people over and over again and was playing the crypto scam market. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get off the subject of Musky Boy. But yeah, so Twitter, if it gets rid of the block option, I'm probably gonna have to put my account to private. I don't know. And that only if people send me requests for me to follow them, I would, but I don't know. I hate having to do that kind of option, especially since I feel like I'm in the public. So I'm doing things to be a part of the public, but it's like if I'm not protected, then I would just keep it to private and keep it that way. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Like I said, it would be in direct violation to the App Store. So I really don't see him going through with it. But yeah, I will end it there for today. My brain, like I said, this is the kind of stuff that goes on that just kind of builds in with that whole idea where it's like my mental capacity has just been at an all-time low, and it's like weird shit just keeps happening over and over and over again, and that's just a small part of it. So if you would like to follow me on my other social medias, you can follow me on my Twitter or my Blue Sky for Charsie Lux with 3 X's, or on my Threads or Instagram for Charsie87. And thank you so much for joining me here on another Charsie Chats. And remember to always slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. Until next time, my little Luxes. Have a luxxy charms kind of day. Bye.